Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, who is missing out of Tucson, Arizona. Tonight, we are learning about some reports of DNA that may be back. Does it give us any results? And this encrypted looking sign that is out that looks like something that the Zodiac unaliver wrote. Does this have anything to do with Nancy, or is it just more BS? I don't know. We got a lot to talk about tonight, though, on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me
Yes, we're gonna get to that, Amy.
Judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Clutch, better tighten the pearls. Drop the cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Yeah, Orly.
Everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're exactly what power looks like.
Isn't that so cute? Oh, that's so cute. Well, hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate your time. Could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 23rd, 2026. It is currently 8:08 p.m. at the East Coast of the United States. Hello, beautiful chat. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Buckle up. This might be a long one tonight. A lot, definitely a lot to talk about that is going on. And anything from this DNA that is reportedly coming back from sources, does that mean something's going to happen soon? And this note, that sign, more of a sign, here's your sign kind of thing, that's got Nancy's case, but what does it mean? And some new neighbor interviews, all kinds of stuff to talk about tonight. So, guys, before we get started, if you don't mind, do me a big favor, like all us YouTubers ask you, please hit that thumbs up button. I would be so thankful if you would do that. Or if you're in the vertical, you can just double tap that screen. And that'll like the live stream. Also, if you would be so kind and consider sharing this out after the live stream, you get 3 hypes a week, and that helps the video out as well. Consider doing that, but it has to be after the live. Pardon me. Good to see everyone in chat. Thank you so much. Peace to all. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Not Lob. Good to see you, Christy. Hello, Joe Canada. Hello, Linda. Uh, Creative. Good to see you. Had to work with that one for a second. Andrea. Jane, thank you. Done both channels. So sweet. Thank you so much, my dear. Miss Ginger, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. You are very kind and very supportive. I appreciate that coming clutch. Really good. Thank you so much, darling. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. Truly. And Lori, thank you so much, my friend, as well. Missing you off your coverage of this. Miss Support. Well, thank you so very much. I give it all about, girl. Really, really do appreciate you, Lori. Thank you. And Ginger, so very much. Brian, good to see you. Blonde, Susan, Miss Linda, Christy, and Elizabeth, good to see you, darling. Hey, sugar, sugar. Hello, darling. Robin, good to see you, my dear. Miss Cassie Rocco. Hello, my love. Connie, Shirley, good to see you, my friend. Linda, Peace of Jesus, good to see you. Christina, hello, everyone. Good to see everyone. You guys, welcome on in. Make yourself at home. Get good and comfortable. Hello, Caroline, Linda, good to see you. Just Maggie, Christy. Get real comfortable because it's probably going to be a long one tonight. A lot to cover. All right, so I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you, because there's so much. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's just talk about these weird signs that's out. And you know what it reminds me of? I said it at the beginning. Thank you, Carol, for sharing the live. I appreciate you, babe. Um, Justin, people are believing the other guy caught on camera is the suspect, the guy who had the same clothes and backpack trying to get in the gate. Watch your thought. My thought on that, Bridget, is I don't know. I don't think, in my opinion, they are the same guy. I don't. However, there are a lot of people that do. That being said, there is a lot of weird things in that video. There is a lot of weird things in that video, and I completely understand why people are suspicious about that video. Not only the guy and the backpacks and his behavior, and he's got um like things in his pocket. He could have even a pew pew holster, but there's a key of soul behind him. It is weird. There's no denying that. But there's so many weird things about this case that you can point in so many directions. That's why this case to me has just been truly one of the most confusing cases I think I've ever covered, because generally I have an opinion on which way I'm headed. Like, I've got my eye on someone generally. In this case, I really don't. I really don't, because it is went in every different direction. The only thing I am convinced on this case right now is that this is foul play. This wasn't random, and somebody was targeting Nancy. That's the only thing I am convinced of. Hello, Miss Kelsey. Good to see you. Hey, Tucson. Deb. Hello, Word Sleuth. Um, so yeah. Yeah. Hey, Birdie. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Thank you so much. Birdie. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing? And thank you so much for your support. This case is so bizarre. I've even um I really try to stay out of the conspiracies, but I understand, like, if this would be any case, if any case would be a conspiracy, this one could, which I don't really like conspiracies. People do things for a reason, in my opinion. It's self-evident that everyone does things with a motivation behind it. That's just human behavior in crime. So the perp was way too comfortable on the front porch, in my opinion, like he's been there before. I don't know. The guy was very, very comfortable. That is for sure. That's the question in the chat today, the poll. Mods, if you don't mind, if one of you that could remind me to make sure I check the poll at the end of this live stream, because I always forget. But the poll question is, do you think that this perpetrator, whoever it is, has been to Nancy's home before? In my opinion, yes, absolutely. I don't think someone is there for over 40 minutes in the way that this guy walked up, uh, very nonchalantly, not seeming to be in a hurry, just very much taking his time. Hey, seriously, question mark. Good to see you. Yeah, very, very strange. I think the guy's been in her house more than once, in my opinion. I agree. I agree. Certainly scoping it out. Certainly. Absolutely. Hey, Holly. Good to see you, my friend. Boy, I just sounded Southern really there. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Lord. Good to see you, friend. Holly, thank you so much. 22 months. Love you, precious Justin, and each other Pearl brothers and sisters. God bless you all. God bless you, Miss Holly. Appreciate you, and hopefully you and your husband are good. Always thinking about you, my dear. Uh, you're funny, Cassie. Another here. Anyone hear about Kathy Lee Gifford? No, I haven't, Tina. What's going on with Kathy Lee Gifford? Did I miss something? I don't know. Okay. Um, where do I start? Where do I okay, let's start with this sign, and then we've got so much to get to. I can't even don't even know where to begin. We just started a few minutes ago. Yep, just started a few minutes ago. Hey Jude, Lolo, bonjour. Good to see you. Okay. This truly when I saw this, I was like, first of all, is this just some, you know, wackadoodle writing this? She's great, Georgia. She's great. Thank you. No, baby. No, Hamitude. You're not blocked. I just now saw you though. And make sure your messages, that little, I think it's a little dot above the chat there, make sure it's on all messages because YouTube really filters out a lot of messages. And some people will be like nobody will see you in chat until you'll say, "Am I blocked or does not anyone see me?" And then like everyone will see. It's really weird. But this reminds me of what's it called? I just said it a minute ago. I can't even uh the guy who Zodiac top chat. Yeah. This reminds me of like the Zodiac. Um is this just someone who is like a quackhead, or is it someone who is there's a message behind it? Is it someone who just needs to maybe learn sentence structure? Um, what is this? Because you just think it just doesn't get any more bizarre, right? You just think, well, yeah, I mean, we've seen it all, right? In this case, well, nope. There's a big yellow sign out now that I don't even know where to begin. A list of sheriff's names and Guthrie and another woman who passed. Huh. Yeah, so it says Guthrie, and then it's got plate number CBD. Is that a joke? CBD, you get it. 2273. Uh CHROL crawl. Shemig. Yop is it Yavape? Sheriff's Department, Roads and Lemons, State Fire Chair Connolly. What the hell is it? These signs were found all the same. Hey, seriously, question mark. Thank you so much, my dear. Welcome to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate your support. Good to see you, my friend. That's what I'm saying, Ginger. Thank you so much. Y'all welcome, seriously, question mark, to the Pearl family. I know. It's like, it does seem to me, this person seems like they're wearing the tinfoil hat. Uh, she passed away. Okay. It seems like this person's kind of like the type that wears the tinfoil hat, maybe, perhaps. Seems like they probably have no, and respectfully, I mean this respectfully, like a lower education level. Um, it just doesn't make unless do they know something? Do they know something? What if they are being really cocky and if like it's something that's what yeah, Aaron, But that's exactly what the Zodiac killer did whenever he was unaliving people. You had to like decrypt, depict, it was like almost freaking hieroglyphics or something, uh, like a code or something like that. Is this the person who is now feeling, for instance, like they said in chat, maybe they're feeling cocky that, well, shit, they don't got anything. Let's just mess with them a little more. Or did they intentionally write it like this to throw people off? You know what I mean? Like some people will intentionally try to skew their their writing to throw people off. That happens too, right? You think it's someone who wants attention? Maybe, maybe. There's about to be a tinfoil shortage. Sugar, that's funny. Wackadoodles running around bumping into each other out there. That's the way it feels. That's the way it feels. What language is it? This is supposedly English. Supposedly English. I wonder if it's that James fella whom seems off in his head. I don't know. I did think of that. I also thought of I don't know why I thought, but I thought of the two people in the black that was showing their asses outside. The girl that was literally showing her ass outside. I thought of her as well. I don't know why. Um, Maybe Ellie is getting close, and it's a distraction of their fake. Cream Filling says, I think it's clues, a connection to prior crime, sheriff, fire inspector, investigator from Carrollsburg, another county close by with political connections. You could be right. You could be right. I mean, but this is the thing that I always say. Like, and I always try to press this because it is so true. Regardless, this person took out time, energy to put these out, right? They took out time, energy, and they did this for some sort of motive, right? And it is clear, at least in my opinion, and I would say a lot of yours, I don't want to speak for you, but certainly Arizonans, that there is, uh, seems to be at least some crazy things with the sheriff that's he didn't make transparent, and there has been investigations and all of that as well. Um, and sometimes, if it could be like an old coworker, someone that knows something, someone that's seen something, maybe don't know. Here is another one. Here is another one, right? Thank you, Miss Mary. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Um, y'all, it is her husband, BF, not sure which, and he is trying to bring attention to her death. He truly believes she was murdered because she fought against water meters being put on wells there. They put water meters on wells? Really? That's crazy. And we're gonna get to that. Yes, Miss Eureka. Oh man, I just don't even know where to start tonight. So yeah, um, here we go. Um, Here is another one. There's more than one sign. Um, Thank you so much, Deb. Appreciate you, baby. You're very kind to me. I wonder if the message is saying two older women that died, Guthrie and Carol, and the names of the two sheriffs who they believe are dirty and part of foul play with deaths of Guthrie and Carroll. Um, there is nothing that would surprise me. I mean, I personally don't think that I've even heard people say, like they believe Manos is involved and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think he's just pretty careless and reckless. But like I was saying, I do believe this could be somebody that is frustrated with how cases of being handled, or they potentially know something from the past. Maybe they know information. Maybe they worked with people in the sheriff's office or for the county at one point. That is entirely possible as well. You know what I mean? Um, Sassy. When did you send me an email, Sassy? I got one from 6:55 today, 8:30 now. I don't have anything else. Thank you for that, Deb. Appreciate you. Anything is possible in this case. So strange. It is. It's very, very strange. I want to show you a video. Uh, the police are taking it. They took it. Look at this. Let me make it big for you guys. Here they are, taking it, rolling it up, and yeah, they're putting it in a bag. It's not. I mean, if that's an evidence bag, you need a bigger evidence bag, sir. That seems again a little careless. If that is, they're like taking fingerprints or something because they put it in paper bags, obviously, so they don't sweat and fingerprints and stuff doesn't wear off. But that's, I don't know. They clearly put it in a bag for something. Otherwise, they'd have just thrown the damn thing in the back of the car, wouldn't they? Am I right? As much as they are watched, they're gonna take it. It just seems careless to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can get a bigger bag. Like, is it too much to ask? It is an evidence bag. Absolutely. It's a paper bag. But, with, uh, I mean, this is the thing. This is probably nothing, but I just want to vent my frustrations for 1 second. Can I, if you don't mind? It's probably absolutely nothing. But you see them putting this in an evidence bag when half of it is hanging out and it is not sealed, right? To me, that just shows that they are careless in this. It's probably 99% nothing, but it's just the fact that if it is something, why can't you put it in a regular bag that it will fit and half of it's not hanging out and you seal it properly? You know what I mean? And that makes me wonder about Nancy's case because let's say this is something. Okay, well, you've got it on camera of half the thing out, hanging out, and it's not sealed properly. There it goes. It's out of court. You couldn't use it if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating. It's not professional at all. Yes. And that just bothers me. For Nancy's case, seal the evidence. A foreman nearly got $400 because the cops mishandled the money, never sealed it. Yeah. Mm. You can just throw it out, disregard it 1,000%. 1 second. Okay. All right. Sassy sent me something. Okay, what's this? It's probably Well, he said he believes Carol was poisoned. Okay. So people are saying that it could be, and I'm not saying it is 100% with the sign, but people are writing that it could be a guy named Ben McNeil. He said he believes Carol June Schumick was poisoned. She died in 2021. Rocks and Jewelry LLC. That's interesting. Come see us at the Rock Show in Flagstaff, August 26th and 27th at the Elks Lodge at 2101 North San Francisco. That would be interesting. Sorry, there's a car alarm going off. Isn't that? If she's into rocks and jewelry. Well, there was the biggest shows coming up. Remember that? And I don't think Daphne and I have kind of talked about this behind the scenes a little bit about the avenue of the jewelers that the family, or there was this jewel association or something. They had left, and I think they had contributed to Nancy's reward as well. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it kind of just makes you wonder, like, you just never know. You just never know. That is, we don't know that 100%. That is what people are saying, that it could be this guy named Ben. He believes that Carol, let me write this down, Carol June Schumick. Let's see what her story is real quick. Carol June Schumick. She died in 2020. Is that the same one? Let's see here. Oh, hold on. We know this guy, don't we? Give me a second.
Challenges did investigators face on the Brown University? Was it a lack of camera coverage in some of the buildings and
of Brown University, not just.
Okay, why does that come up? Let me see here where she is. This has got to be, we'll just type in Arizona. Give me a second. Let me just check something. If anyone's got any information on that, because died in 2021. This is what Grok is saying. Carol June Schumick, Polish surname, died January 1st, 2021, age 74, of Sino Valley County, Arizona. She ran a rock and jewelry shop and opposed local watering meters on wells. Some claimed poisoning or murder by officials. No official foul play of ruling. Obituary list natural passings. CBD 2273. License plate on signs. Truck that placed them, not cannabis, no marijuana or legalization references anywhere. Signs. That's interesting. A lot of people are. I'm pretty sure this is her. Okay, I'm getting down a rabbit hole. But January 1st, 2021. She was born August 4th in Illinois. Let's see here. Carol was an avid reader, lifelong learner. She always known to be the fountain of information and loving caretaker. Carol was the proud owner of B&C Rocks and Jewelry with her husband, Ben McNeil. She was a valued and vibrant part of the rocking community in Arizona and was a member of the both Mingus Mountain and Prescott Rock clubs. That's interesting. We're going to have to go down a rabbit hole like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Hey, always late. Good to see you. I will go down that rabbit hole because Daphne and I, we were talking about going on an angle like that because there's a little information that we've kind of obtained that Daphne really thinks is kind of interesting. Okay, so we're going to go to Brian Enton right now and go over this. Guys, if you're just joining us, please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. I really, really appreciate you all being here today. If you would share the live out would mean so much as well. And all that good stuff. Okay. Couple things I want to go over. I don't know which one I want to do first. Okay, we'll do this one first, I guess. Mods, please drop Brian Enton's link. I'm going to, of course, put him in the description as well. I'm sure you all know Brian Enton. I'm sure you've all probably seen this by now. Some of this. Let's see here. I got some comments on this. Hey, Holly. Thank you so much, baby. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for gifting that pearl necklace. Really, really do appreciate you. You received that. Make sure you give our beautiful Holly a big thank you. Hey, Green Ass.
Coming up in a second. What I also wanted to let you know about is, remember, there's this recall where they are trying to recall the sheriff, essentially throw him out of office. The Pima County Board of Supervisors, I was just going over their agenda. They have a meeting tomorrow. So today is Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday, where in their executive session.
Remember, the sheriff did not, when he was working, I think in El Paso, Texas, he did not give his everything, the right dates and his allegedly his disciplinary record, and it was a clerical error or he messed up or something like that. And so that's all being called out as well. And that's kind of the reason that's they're giving the basis on why they want an election do-over they're trying to recall. Always late. Thank you so much. 2 years. Really do appreciate that. Always late. Love you all. That's all. We love you and appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Justin C, that's why I thought there was something to do with both ladies being outspoken and fighting for civic things. Nancy fought for the university. This Carol lady fought civic-wise for their community. That's what I think you mean. Deb, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. One thing that is interesting, right? And I really try not to like think conspiracy or anything like that, but Nancy was very open, outspoken in her beliefs, right? She was not afraid to tell somebody how she felt. That was apparent. And could have she have stepped on someone's toes, so to speak, just like this other lady. A lot of people's talked about politics. I have seen, I've talked about this. I think I've actually shown some pictures of it, um, of some interesting local political photos. But, everyone always goes to the national, Jeffrey Epstein or something like that. And I'm thinking, it's not going to be anything like that. I'm telling you, but it could be local. You never know.
It says that they will be having a discussion regarding recently reported issues concerning Sheriff Nanos's work history and apparent related false statements and related personnel management, internal affairs investigations, or other issues in the department. Sorry, I forgot my glasses and this text is really small. So they're going to talk about Sheriff Nanos in executive session tomorrow. So I'll follow up on that tomorrow. It's kind of interesting because he's an elected official. I mean, the sheriff is elected.
He
It's a powerful
said that
role anywhere,
nobody
especially in
can do it.
Arizona. So it's not like the Board of Supervisors can just throw him out. But it's my understanding they do control the borough.
Right here. Let me find it.
Tucson, it's
Here
riding.
we go.
Rick, it's nice to see you again. Thank you for joining me. Last time I saw you, I was riding around in your car, sort of getting the lay of the land of Tucson. And then you were out of town for quite some time. And I'm interested to catch up with you and get your perspective on some of the things that have been happening for the last month or so. The first thing I wanted to ask you, Rick, is I was actually up last night kind of thinking about this. Why do you think we never really saw anyone searching for Nancy? I mean, there were
And that's always been a big question for me. Like, yeah, the homicide was out there from day one, right? Homicide was out there pretty much from day one. But regardless whether she is deceased or not, you've got to find her. You have to find Nancy. So don't you need searches? You can say, well, they were doing the more investigative, right? But sometimes you can pursue the investigative part while simultaneously doing the search part, and you don't know which one is going to give you a lead first, right? You might find Nancy first out there, and that could give you the big lead, right? They say no body, no case. I think this will be a case regardless.
initially, I remember they called in Bortak, like, I think it was like day 1 or 2, very briefly, but there was never a big grid search. There was never like a coordinated.
And Nanos has rejected search groups. That was no cost to him, no cost to the taxpayers at all. Why? Why? It's like, why would you reject someone that's all they do? That is what they do, is they search for missing people, dead or alive. That is their specialty. That's all they do, right? Police they have a lot of different hats. And when you have someone specialized, they know more what they're doing. It's ridiculous.
Search.
Well, I think that's a valid point. And one of the concerns that a lot of people have had related to the way this operation has been handled. And I think your viewers and you know full well I have some serious concerns. By the way, thanks for having me back. I appreciate the fact that you want to talk to me. And as you well know, I've been retired from the organization for a couple of years now, but I did serve there over 46 years, and I know the players intimately. That said, you're talking about a grid search. Initially, the case was handled as though this was an elderly woman who walked away from her home.
Exactly,
that was
Granny.
the initial response for the first, perhaps, 8
Guys, please hit that thumbs up button. With either chat you're in, hit that thumbs up button or double tap the screen, please.
24 hours or so. And that did involve a search. There were search and rescue
But you still need to find her,
components
Cassie.
on the ground, some on foot, some on horseback, and of course the helicopter. That didn't really find anything, but as soon as the sheriff's department saw the initial evidence, and now we have the luxury 7 weeks out to understand what that is, it became very clear, at least to me,
Yeah, at least 3.
that this was a very sophisticated abduction. And when I use that word
I know, Mary.
sophisticated, I don't use it lightly, because the preparation that took place of the individual or individuals that committed this crime is evident in the video that we've seen.
Thank you, Amy.
It's evident in the scene itself. And even the sheriff has concluded this was an abduction. That's not rocket science, but it's scary, because we don't know what the intent was initially. I have some guesses. And there were, getting back to
Nano said, well, he's kind of knew what, the reason that they did this from the get-go, that he recently said, which was bizarre, to say the least.
the grid idea, the grid search itself. One of the things they want to do is look very carefully from the point of origin, which would have been her home, and perhaps any evidence that led 360 degrees around her home, footprints, articles of clothing, things she might have been carrying.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then the next step would be, well, where would she logically go? Has she done this before? But as we became well aware, she had the mental
He says no, JK. I don't know.
faculties and sharpness of a much, much younger person. Her family told investigators that up front.
Yes, they used the term she was sharp as a tack mentally, right? Something always happens first. Your body either goes out before your mind, or your mind goes out before your body. Like, you'll see people with Alzheimer's or dementia, their bodies will be fine. They can get around fine, but their mind is gone. In Nancy's case, her body was very limited, but her mind was sharp as a tack. And she was still playing games with her little club and stuff that she was in, going to dinner, hanging out with her girlfriends on Sunday.
And the need
All of
for a
that.
ground search was put on the back burner. That's the way I see it, spiraling forward.
But even weeks later, or even now, and I think to Savannah's, or the Guthrie family statement that just came out in the last 24 hours, and it's so sad, but they seem to be acknowledging that Nancy is probably not with us anymore. And I think most people have kind of sadly come to that reality. But why wouldn't you still do some kind of search? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can tell me, you had so many years in law enforcement, but like, wouldn't you still do some kind of search to see if there's a grave, to see if there's a body somewhere? Or is it just too vast, the desert?
Well, to do it now would be difficult at best, because the weather.
Now, we're talking nearly 2 months later, but we're talking about, I think Brian is insinuating, like, the beginning. There was never really this big search for her. Yeah, the neighbors and stuff looked, and they looked around, and people, some locals did and stuff, but there wasn't this designated deep grid search. And to me, you wonder why. It seemed like they were just investigating something was really bad.
There's been rain here in this part of the country during the 7 weeks she's been missing, and that obscures anything you might find. But of course, you ask about a grave, but what would be the motivation of an individual to abduct her from her home and then take her somewhere, presumably with the intent to gain something, and we don't know what that is. A lot of us surmise it has to do with some financial gain. But what would be the purpose of burying her if she passed near the home? That doesn't make a lot of sense, and it not a likely scenario. There's several others that you and I have explored that I've shared with you. I know that the sheriff's department has information they cannot reveal, and they will not, just to maintain the integrity of the case. But ground searches were conducted, several of them considerably later than one would have hoped, because they found gloves, plural. They found a glove that belonged to somebody working at a nearby restaurant. And that kind of doesn't make sense. Apparently there was
a lot of gloves. It wasn't just one glove. There was gloves everywhere.
Association between other evidence and an Uber driver. I know that they've interviewed, you reported at one point, the FBI SRT team went out and interacted with somebody who was an Uber driver. That didn't produce anything concrete. And they've taken steps to be as careful as possible. But as you've heard from me before, I don't think the right things were done initially. And I think the outcome, it may or may not have changed if certain things were done initially. Regardless, they're still pursuing this, albeit a much smaller investigative entity, but they're still pursuing this.
You mentioned things that they're holding back, law enforcement. I know you don't work there anymore, but you did work there for more than 40 years, which is amazing, by the way. Do you think that there's a lot they're holding back? Because I've kind of struggled with that. Like, do you think there's things that they saw inside the house, like big, details that they are specifically not telling the public? Or do you think by this point that stuff would have gotten out?
Well, I think
Okay, before he answers that, do you guys think they have a lot? Or a little, or nothing? Write it in chat. Do you think they have a lot, a little, or nothing? I think we can all pretty much say that it was held wrong. There was a lot of error in the beginning, for sure. There was a lot of error. Now, we're going to get into here in just a minute. There is reporting that some things are back. And is that going to change things in this case? Is that going to change things?
a lot of it has gotten out, but you say big details, and that's kind of a subjective term, what big means. But the purpose of withholding information on a case is so that the investigators, when they do have a person in custody, and let me take the example of this Uber driver, the guy that the FBI went and talked to. They have information that only the bad guy would know, or perhaps the family. And that has to be withheld, because if at some future point we discover who committed this crime, there are ways to interrogate that person and try and deem specifics that only that person would know.
Right.
And then that adds credibility to that person's story. There are, somebody in an interview with me one time called them clowns, and I think that's probably the perfect description. But there are individuals out there who purport to be the ones who did the crime, but they don't have the level of detail that law enforcement is withholding, and it can be easily disproved that somebody's come forward and said something and it's not valid.
Well, just like at least one or two of the ransom letters, there was reporting that the FBI was very interested in a couple of those letters because of certain things that potentially only the person who did this would know. Did they, did that dry up and they realized how they got that information, or what was with it? It has to be one or the other. The lead has to run out, that they they were just clowning like the FBI or whatever. Hey, Carmelita, good to see you. Joyce, good to see you, darling. Nice, Maria. I think the FBI has more than the sheriff. I agree. But I also think that the sheriff has made it extraordinarily difficult for the FBI. Right? I think they've made it very difficult. For the first 2 to 3 weeks, allegedly, this sheriff department was virtually gatekeeping this case. Like the first 48 hours, 72 hours is everything, let alone the first 2 to 3 weeks.
And that's really the reason, the critical reason. And then of course you've got, if and when this ever went to a court, you have to be able to prove what information that person has and what you know. DNA is a classic, serious piece of evidence today. It didn't exist when I started out as a foot cop, but it does today. And that has expanded beyond just the actual DNA and somebody to compare it to. It's now gone beyond familial relationships and DNA databanks that have close enough information to steer investigators toward some narrower scope. I believe that they have that. I believe they have some DNA that it can't be compared to an individual because they don't have the individual, or that individual had never been arrested for a serious enough crime.
And that's it. And that's very, very interesting, right? Let's think about that. We're going to get more into that DNA here in just a few minutes. But there's reporting that there's more DNA back. They had gotten DNA back, I don't know, a few weeks ago. They said that it wasn't enough of a profile to put it into, I think it was CODIS. I think it was CODIS. I'm pretty sure it was CODIS. There's been so much happen. And that they will be able to eventually work with that DNA, in my opinion, and do genealogy on that. But even if they let me think about that a second, because they would be able to put it in CODIS by now, I would think. So I guess he is right. Like, there's this person, it doesn't seem like he or they have done like they're a major criminal. I mean, they obviously are, but they haven't been caught in other big crimes before. Right? So, kind of makes you think a little deeper.
For the DNA to be in the database. But they've got something that might tie into family level and draw investigators toward singling out.
This guy's local. He's been in the county forever, and he's retired now.
Who may have done this.
So based on all your experience, and you mentioned, I mean, there are things that you don't know, there are things we don't know, but based on all your experience, what is your theory now? I mean, because I talked to you early on, is there one hypothesis you have based on the facts that we know?
Here's a couple of things, and I'm going to take us, if you don't mind, Brian, through the chronology of what happened and what we know. One of the first critical things we saw was blood on the porch, and I think your team reported that. Secondarily, the FBI gets involved, thank goodness, and we see that there was a video camera that did record an incident, a suspicious or individual who covered his identity walked up. If you watch that video carefully, you'll see him approach slowly and with his right shoulder toward the camera and his turning to his left with his head. That tells me he knew where the camera was. That tells me that perhaps this, and that's when I underscore the word sophistication, that this individual.
You know, it depends on how sophisticated this guy is meaning, in my opinion. Because, yeah, I think he knew where the camera was because that camera, he was there prior to Nancy being taken out of that house. Because we know that because that camera was moved the first time he was there. It is at a different angle now. So that camera has been moved. Of course he knew that camera was there. But again, you can talk about that camera all day long, but there's other cameras as well. He's got great points here, but the cameras inside, how did he know those weren't recording? Why did he not take those cameras? Why are the 2 cameras at the neighbor's house the only 2 that's pointing at Nancy's backyard? Why were they not recording? And they're wired. It's too weird. In my opinion, it tells me that whoever this is knew that the cameras inside were not recording. They knew the camera outside was recording. However, I think that they knew that there was no subscription, but they took that camera anyways.
Had that information in his mind when he walked up to that front porch. He slumps forward, kind of buries his head into his left shoulder, walks towards the camera, slowly puts a glove up, turns around, picks up some brush, apparently, in the porch in front, and then puts it in front of the camera again, covering it with his glove and this brush. That's preparatory work.
Hey guys, I was in Arizona for almost a month and a half, and my eating habits.
Okay. Now we're going we'll be right. Let me pop this up real quick. We're going to the neighbor here. And we're not going to play all of it. So you'll have to go to Nancy's and Brian's for the rest of it. But I got some comments on some of this right here. That check this out. So this is the neighbor. Mods, will you please drop Nancy's link there if you don't mind in chat? Whose cameras were not working. And his dog was up and supposedly needed to go out at that time.
For sure. Glad to.
Shoulder. But first, I want to go to a special guest joining us, a neighbor of Nancy Guthrie's. It's Jeff Lemay, who woke up that night in the early morning hours, and he very often passes Mrs. Guthrie on their neighborhood strolls. Mr. Lemay, thank you for being with us.
For sure. Glad to be here.
You know what?
I'm so glad for these neighbors coming out and speaking, because makes the third one that I'm aware of, and they give really valuable information.
I'm glad you said.
Yeah, dogs know. Dogs do know. Absolutely.
Because in my world of investigating and prosecuting nothing but violent felonies for so many years, you wouldn't believe it, Mr. Lemay, of how many people, quote, don't want to get involved. Mm-hmm. They don't come forward. They don't say anything. And they feel okay with that. I will never understand it. First, I'm sure the FBI has quizzed you extensively, but I just want to hear at the beginning, of your encounters with Mrs. Guthrie when you would both be out strolling the neighborhood?
We would see her when we were walking our dogs. She had a dog at one time also, and greet her. She was just a person who lived here, a pleasant, wonderful neighbor. And we're so saddened, of course. Saddened isn't even the word. Heartbroken about what's happened.
All of the neighbors that's been interviewed so far, they all seem like they're very good middle upper class people, educated, all of that. They all own their homes. From that's spoken out. It seems like there's a few rentals on that street, but again, this where they live, it's like a maze getting in there. Like I always said, this is not something that was just random. Nobody's going to go to that specific house on this street that's like a maze and just rent. There's so much more convenient places.
I guess you're also fed up with the ghouls showing up in your neighborhood in hot pants and stripper shoes to take photos in front of Mrs. Guthrie's home. It's sick. But before I go on,
the stripper shoes, yeah, she that girl that had her ass hanging out, she looked like, I don't know, like a gothic pole dancer.
off on a tangent that gets me nowhere and proves nothing. That night, Jeff Lemay, that night, what happened?
Well, preceding the event, there were some evenings where our dogs woke up, which was highly unusual. We don't know if there's a correlation. I know the FBI and the investigators have asked for cameras and camera footage. All the neighbors have shared camera footage and any recollection they have. But the next day, we were surprised when there were helicopters above flying through the neighborhood.
Please hit the thumbs up.
A large response of sheriff's department, a volunteer crew of community members who do rescue in the mountains of hikers who came and scoured the neighborhood. And initially we were wondering what was going on. And then we found out it was our neighbor, which obviously is horrible.
Okay. So this is Nancy's house. I believe their house is like this one or one of these, but I think it's this one, perhaps, maybe, allegedly.
You stated that you live 4 homes down from Mrs. Guthrie. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, is this the guy with the cameras that didn't record the two? No, Joe's not a troll. He's not an obnoxious troll. He's just obnoxious. Okay. Guys, we love Joe, actually. You might have to put a spray bottle. We have a spray bottle for members to spray Joe when he gets a little out of hand.
Okay. Now, your dogs often, as does mine, want to go out in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. That night, did your dog go out?
Yeah, that was where actually I sort of, one of our dogs I have to rouse in the morning is a deep sleeper. There were some nights in question where the investigators have asked us about certain evenings and if we've seen anything unusual. And once again, it could be coincidence, it could be nothing. I'm not an investigator, I'm a lay person. But the dogs did rouse and I took them out. There's a image of me on camera. I heard nothing or saw nothing, but you know, animals can be, especially dogs, can be hypersensitive. And
yeah, well, dogs, they have ears and a nose, right? Far better than you or I.
We don't know if there's a correlation. We've shared it.
And animals have that sixth sense as well, right? And just, yes, they sense bad vibes. They know good people from not so good people as well.
And
they'll, I think that especially some dogs, they'll they'll protect their owners, or try to, it's kind of like sometimes if there's like something wrong in the house, or the dog will
It
let
helps
you
with
know.
timeline or in any way. We hope it is of some value.
What time was that, Jeff Lemay?
Yeah.
Gosh, it was, I'm working from memory. It may have been a little bit past 1 a.m.
Now that is interesting, a little bit past 1 a.m. That's a very important time frame, a little past 1 a.m. And he's working from memory, right? Okay. Thank you. Peace. Thank you so much.
Jeff Lemay, you really hit the nail on the head, because after everything calms down at night and everything settles and the kitchen is clean, and we'll be sitting there, watching something on TV maybe, and our dog, Fat Boy, will go insane. And then we find out, like 2 minutes later, a delivery was made at the front porch, or somebody then opens the back door. Maybe one of the granny nannies is coming in or out. But he hears it or smells it long before we do.
Yeah, he does.
So I want you to tell me again. And the reason I'm so interested, Jeff, is because I personally have investigated cases.
I thought it was, they was always there, and we're still talking about neighbors, because again, crime usually happens 96% of the time with somebody that is family, friends, that knows you, someone close, right? And I thought it was very weird how this guy's cameras shut off, only allegedly the two. But now him doing this interview, I feel a lot better about it. So I'm so glad he did this interview. You know what I mean? That's a good question. That's a good question, Susie. I don't know. I don't know.
Is where the dog was the initial trigger that raised the first alarm. And there have been many in real life. This is one everybody knows, so I use it a lot. The O.J. Simpson case. The neighbors heard the dog, Akita, issue a, as they say, plaintive wail that they had never heard the dog do before. And this was around the time Simpson was murdering Nicole and Ron. So the dog was the first alarm. Now, I'm very curious. Tell me exactly what happened.
Sure. As I've mentioned, our dogs are usually sound sleepers. Full confession, when the dog woke me up to say, I've got to go outside, I was grudgingly accommodating and took the dog out to our little courtyard in the back of our house. And it was unusual, and it seldom happens. And we've gone back to the other dates that we've been asked about to see if there's a...
I think for those of us that's ever had dogs and you have to take them out in the middle of the night, especially if you live in a cold, like the winter or something like that, you grudgingly take them out a lot of times, right? You don't want to get up yourself. But, it makes me wonder, how like sometimes dogs, like when you take them out, you're like, you was just bitching about going outside to use the bathroom, and now you're not using the bathroom. That makes me wonder now, do they want to go outside because they hear something or they smell something? Is that why sometimes they go outside? You know what I mean? Like, is not because they want to use the bathroom, but they're like, let's check out what's going on out here.
Correlation. And as mentioned, shared this information. But animals, especially dogs, can be so sensitive and kind of work on a different realm with smell, hearing, etc. And we hope it's of some help. We don't know.
Now, you said something was unusual. What was unusual?
Oh, just waking me up at that hour. that would be,
Christine?
once again, that's what was atypical. It actually, it hasn't happened since.
It hasn't happened since. And they said it doesn't happen very often. I think that's, I think there is just too much of coincidence here. If their cameras weren't working, it was around after 1 a.m. and the dog wanted to go outside, and it never really does. So I think that is very helpful. I think they're being very helpful. Christine says, Justin, do you think the perps could have taken Nancy through her backyard? Isn't there a road along one side of the backyard? A lot of people has asked that and even think that. I personally don't think Nancy was taken out the backyard, in my opinion. I think Nancy was taken out the front door. Again, that's just my opinion. I think they came, the at least one person came through the sliding door, a window or something in the back, but I think they took her out the front. That's just my opinion, though.
They are usually sound sleepers. Take them out before heading to bed and taking them out first thing in the morning. So this was kind of unusual. I don't know if they've heard something, smelled something, sensed something in some way. So we've obviously provided that information, and I don't know if it's of help, but we hope it is.
Jeff Lemay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wanting to know, kind of, Baba Rose. Very good thing you mentioned there. He said the cameras picked him up outside, apparently. But what makes me question now is, okay, if they picked him up outside, was he not, because there's more, that he has more than 2 cameras. Is he talking about those 2 cameras that picked him up, or was it a different camera? Because from what I understand, we'll hear him out here. He said, not he, but they're allegedly reported that those 2 cameras that was pointed towards Nancy's house was not working, and those were the only 2 cameras that weren't working. The other cameras were working during that time. Tucson says, I was awoken in the wee hours of the morning by noises on the roof. Turns out it was 2 road runners chasing bugs, but it freaked me out. I'm much more vigilant now. Oh, wow. Me. God, I'm old. Remember Roadrunner? We all remember Roadrunner, the cartoon.
Let me throw this on you. As I've told many a jury, there is no coincidence in criminal law.
That's
There's
right.
just not. Coincidences happen in life, but in my experience, not in criminal cases, much less a kidnap or worse, a murder. So at first I didn't understand that this was unusual. I thought your dogs wanted to go out in the middle of the night all the time like mine does. I think I was projecting, which is never a good thing for a trial lawyer to do. So this is becoming more important in my mind because your dogs don't normally do that. I would like to also share with you that the best witness I ever put on the stand, and I practiced for 14 years.
Nancy's going to say a dog. She always says this. The best thing I ever put on a stand was a dog or his nose. Thank you so much, Miss Michelle. Really do appreciate you. Hello, Justin and everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Michelle, for your support. Really, really do appreciate that. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button or double tap the screen. Really do appreciate each and every one of you being here, putting your input and all that. Special thanks to the mods and members and everyone in chat.
As a Fed and a violent felony prosecutor, was a dog. Best witness I ever put on the stand. That said, now this is becoming more significant because your dogs don't normally get up in the middle of the night. I thought that they did because I was projecting. But that night, the night Mrs. Guthrie is kidnapped, your dogs get up and want to go outside. Is that correct?
Yeah, and also some of the other evenings that we've been questioned about.
Mhm.
I'm working from memory again. I believe January 11th was another date that was in question. So we had this activity at that time, and human nature, we just filed it away and didn't really think about this until we were asked to review our video, and then had this recollection and saw this correlation, which was very unusual.
So did
Hold
you
on.
review your video? And
Wait, I gotta go back. I gotta see what he says there again. I was reading something. There's 14 videos on that camera. Why hasn't all 14 been released? To me, the guy at the door looked to be knocking, not breaking in. Why? I think he's ringing the doorbell, in my opinion. I think there's someone else inside, and that's when they are carrying Nancy out. I think he's the help. This guy that we're seeing here, in my opinion. Could be wrong. He may be the only suspect. That's just the way he behaves, in my opinion. But here's what makes me question Gene, or not Gene. Who was it? You love in chat. If they're still looking for this guy, right? If they're still looking for this guy that we see right here in this night vision, right? Why haven't they put out more video? Why haven't they given us more information on this guy, right? Do they not need it? Do they need it? Do they, Sheriff Nano says we have an idea of why Nancy was targeted from day one. Okay, so could you point us in a direction? You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like they were having a hard time finding a vehicle. Did they find that vehicle? If they found that vehicle, fine. But if they haven't, why aren't they out saying we're looking for this make and model of vehicle? They are being very secretive, and I get that. I understand the secret, being secret and all of that if you have what you need, right? But if they don't have what they need, they usually ask the public for help, right? But they don't seem to be asking. I mean, they say, call in tips and all that, but they're not giving the public more to work with. So does that mean, in your opinion, in chat, does that mean you think that they have what they need and they're just they're waiting for DNA, they're waiting for whatever, and then there will be an arrest? Or are they just absolutely at a standstill and they're just not telling squad?
Way and didn't really think about this until we were asked to review our video, and then had this recollection and saw this correlation, which was very unusual.
Okay.
so did you review your video, and what, if anything, did you see?
Yeah, I once again not only reviewed it but provided it to the Sheriff's Department and FBI, and once again, every neighbor has done this. I mean, there's been
Yeah. He said after 40 some days, yeah, we think this neighbor could strike again, but also says Nancy was targeted, an 84-year-old lady, targeted, but could strike anyone. And he's like, I would be amiss if I didn't say that everyone should be careful. Well, yeah, you should preach that, Sheriff Doofy, Sheriff Nanos, whether an 84-year-old woman goes missing or not. Just say, we think this was targeted. There's no other risk to the public that we are aware of at this time. But still, always check your doors, check your windows for your own safety. You never know who's out there. Like, I get that. But, lock your 84-year-old, selves and grandmothers and aunts and uncles and all that up. Like, no, come on now. We know this is targeted.
A robust, wholehearted support from everyone in this community for this investigation, and have provided that data points. Once again, they can see perhaps, once again, I don't know. It could help with time frame. If in fact it could, that would be a wonderful thing if it provides any value. If there was someone.
Did you see anything on the video from Jan 11?
Just the dogs waking us up. With the way our cameras are situated, and this has been, I think, a frustration.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, is he speaking about January 11th being the weird night? Or is he talking about January 31st? He's talking about both nights? So there was weird things that happened both nights? Okay. Did the dog wake him up both nights? Thank you, love. We try to do it thorough. Yes, dogs were up both nights. That's very interesting. And this guy, I like him. He seems very conservative about what he says. Like, he doesn't make a big drama, if you will, about. He doesn't seem to make it bigger than what. He doesn't try to blow up the story, if you will. And I think he's a very believable person, this guy, in my opinion.
Is everyone seems to have a ring or some sort of system, but with the size of the lots and where the cameras are situated, they capture your home and entrance points, but they do not capture much beyond that. There's heavy, dense brush.
And that's the thing. There's the homes all set back pretty far from the road, and like you said, the landscaping, the cactus, the brush, the shrubs, or whatever you want to call it, it's hard to get anything on camera right there. But
here, cactus,
that may have played a big role into them finding a vehicle.
Palo Verdes, etc. So part of the challenge has been, you can see beautiful views of our courtyard, front door, garage, etc., but not much beyond that.
Let me understand something, Jeff. And of course, I would have this all nailed down if I were putting you on the stand. And forgive me if I keep asking the same question over and over. But on January 11, you see nothing out in the yard, as you've just explained, where your cameras are trained. But having reviewed January 11th video at the request of the FBI, you realize that on January 11 and January 31, both nights your dogs uncharacteristically wanted to go outside.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they make that very clear there. Okay, perfect.
And that was very atypical.
Yes.
When they went outside,
he's got some really good dogs that are really good dogs.
You said they went to the back or the front?
It's the rear of our home, where we have a courtyard that abuts our
if you remember, they had like that brick wall. I think it was Brian that took it from that area, dogs usually go to the bathroom the same place as they always go, right? Now, this makes me wonder as well if they were out there the night that Nancy was taken out of that house around that time. If Nancy was being taken out of that house alive, you would think that she would have screamed, right? We're taught, obviously, to not let the person take us to a second location. You fight right then and there. There is no, we're not going to a second location alive, at least. We're going to fight right there. Now, she's 84 years old. She can't really fight or anything. But she could probably scream. And there was no reports of hearing screams or noises or anything. And that really worries me as well, because I honestly, and I pray that I'm wrong, but I don't think Nancy was taken out of that house alive. I really don't.
Okay. Got it. Rear of
Nanos said in the beginning, but this was when he was standing out in the yard of the Guthrie's home, when they had just brought homicide in. He said we could tell something very wrong, very atypical had happened in this home. And I just don't think I think the goal was Nancy, and it wasn't her. If the goal was for her not to be alive.
Is there a cut, a shortcut?
Sure.
Do people walk
it is,
that way to get toward Nancy Guthrie's home, or could they?
It is fairly dense. We can see her home, the top of her home from the rear of our house, and it is, I'm just guesstimating, maybe 150 yards away, but it is very dense cactus, rock, dense brush. From my layperson's perspective.
And just think about that. Yes, I was thinking about, people were talking about, did somebody take her out from the back or whatever, or anything. And the FBI, they were looking at the gate specifically that one time, if you guys remember. I don't think they took her out the back. Again, I think regardless, people choose the path of least resistance, especially in a hard or difficult situation. If you have an 84-year-old woman who's not mobile, right? Well, you're not going to have her walk through the backyard, we'll call the common area, or lack of a better word, where there is cactus, shrubs, and boulders everywhere. It's just nothing. You're just not going to do that. And that is even more why I think Nancy was taken out the front door. The driveway goes around, and I think you could pull up your car right there and put her in. That would be closer. Some people think that, she might have been taken out the back or the garage door. She could have been taken out the garage door. But if there's like a light on in the garage and you open the garage, it beams light, and that would make you more noticed. If someone was going by, it might make you more noticed on even cameras or whatever. You never know. But I really think she was taken out that front door.
Perspective, it would be a challenge.
Unless someone had mapped it out ahead of time. There are what?
Sure. Oh, and there's an abutting cul-de-sac towards the rear. There's a service road that connects to that. Actually, it's wonderful, the graphics you're putting up, where you can see how someone could walk perhaps through the service yard to a cul-de-sac, perhaps around and about.
There's a service route behind your home that leads to a cul-de-sac that leads to Nancy's home. Is that what I'm understanding?
Alongside her home, where you would have to physically cut through someone's property, but then could lead to a cul-de-sac. My understanding was years ago, school kids would use it as a kind of a way to grab the school bus, and they would cut through that area. That's my understanding. But once again, directly from our home to Nancy's house, it would be rough brush.
What is he talking about there? Does anyone know what he's talking about? Is he talking about like this area?
Now, especially in the dark.
So wait, I'm curious. You just said that, guys, that video we were showing you earlier, the aerial video, was from our friends at 12 News. I want to go back to the photo. I want to understand where Jeff Lemay lives on this picture. But you stated that for a long time, school children would use a cut through the back,
Joe.
through the scrub, through the brush,
we love you.
down the service road, maybe to get to the school bus instead of going on the street. Is that correct?
Sure. My understanding, this is what neighbors have told us, is people would use a service road, sort of cut through someone's property very slightly, and then go to a cul-de-sac that abuts the back of our yard.
I gotta rewind this. Hold on.
Road.
I don't understand. Is he talking about this right here? It looks like this right here. This looks like maybe like you would go through someone's yard. You see the little...
Sort of cut through someone's property very slightly, and then go to a cul-de-sac that abuts the back of our yard, but not the...
And that would get you closer to Nancy's home?
Perhaps someone could take a different route to her home through that avenue.
Got it. Now, when your dogs go out at night, Jeff...
Because that's the cold... make sure my mic's on. Yeah, that's the cul-de-sac appears, right? And there looks to be a road right here, like a little, almost a path, but it's a road.
Through that avenue.
Got it. Now, when your dogs go out at night, Jeff, do they lead you to the back or to the front, or do you lead them? When my dog wakes up, he sleeps right beside me in his own little bed, by the bed. I have to take him to a certain door. I lead him to a certain door because I know I can get him in more quickly if I go out that door, and it can be any time of the day or night. So did you lead the dog to the back, or did the dog lead you?
Sure. So it's a courtyard that abuts the bedroom. That's pop the door open, take the dog out, and it's right there. So it's the most natural point to be, and that's where we always take the dogs.
When your dog went out on Jan 31 and Jan 11, what did the dog do to continue barking?
No barking, but I saw on video the dog sort of looking off to the distance and sort of very focused.
Wow.
For a moment.
That's so interesting. God, if that dog could talk, man, what did it hear? What did it see? What did it smell? Right? Justin, Natural Desert has a lot of dirt tracks that can be walked on silently. Yeah, like where I'm at, there is so much forest. Here, like if you're walking in the woods, you're not silent. There is sticks breaking under you and all that. Totally different there. Yeah, I wish that dog could talk, man. Thank you, Green Eyes. Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate all of you guys being here. this case is seriously challenging. Black Dahlia and Zodiac case is the most off the charts, wacky, and confounding true crime case of all time. It reminds me, Jason, of, yes, like you said, Dahlia and Zodiac, but it also I get it's one of those perplexing cases that feels like almost like Jean Benet as well. I feel like. How many do we got? How many likes do we got in the other chat, Ginger or mods? What is so puzzling, Sunny says, is that it is pitch dark out there, so much so that you cannot see any house at all, as demonstrated by a YouTuber that was there. Yes, but however, if you got cameras, most cameras have night vision, and they do really good in night vision, right? It can be completely black, and they see really good. So yeah, that's that's why you think it's not random. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. This is not random at all.
It was fascinating, actually. And then
I just want to play that little part.
No barking, but I saw.
What did the dog do to continue barking?
No barking, but I saw on video the dog sort of looking off to the distance and sort of very focused.
Guys, please hit that thumbs up. Come on, y'all. Double tap the screen. Yes, but even for the perp, how can you even see a house? They obviously have been there before. Yes, 1,000%. They obviously knew that this was a dark area as well, because think about it. He had that mouth flashlight. He knew how dark it was and that he needed his hands free. And he had that backpack. In my opinion, he had, I think it was a KILL kit. Not good.
For a moment. It was fascinating, actually. And then moving on. Now, once again, in my days, my fugue state, past 1 a.m., I did not take note of any of this at the time, and took the dog back in and went back to bed. And once again, we don't know what was occurring, but it's just some information to provide of some value, we hope, to the investigation.
Jeff, can you look at that overhead and tell me which home is yours as it relates to Mrs.
Sure.
Guthrie's?
So we would be, if you leave Nancy's house, take a right, and the immediate next right, we're on that street, at the end of the street. So if you count,
so
1,
hold
2,
on,
3.
I'm trying to digest this. You see the red marker on the screen on her home.
Yeah.
So you go forward, which in this
Yes.
picture would be up. You'd make an immediate right, and then your first right, and go 1, 2, 3, 4 houses away.
1, 2,
Right.
3. Yes. Perfect. Perfectly said.
Right here.
Got it. It's kind of a little square with the driveway to its left. I see. I see actually what would be the cut through. See
Yes.
it behind
It's
your home?
So it's alongside our home. It's a utility road for the power company.
Now that I'm talking to you, I see that. Now, Jeff, question.
talking
We
like
keep
right
hearing
here?
about a vacant home. Where is the vacant home as it relates to Mrs. Guthrie's home?
So that is catty corner to our house across the street.
The one with the beige gray roof, that one kind of to the left of your home a little bit?
Yes.
That's the vacant home. Wow, that is right around the corner from Mrs. Guthrie. I've been wondering, where's the vacant home? Answer. Okay, what about construction? Where's the home?
This is very interesting. Okay. So right here we have the vacant property. Jeff's home is down right here. Right here. You can't see it on here. Here is Nancy's home. And here is where the construction is. There's a lot of houses just in this little area, but it's a bigger area than what you think as well, because the lots are bigger. The way he goes up and almost knocks on the door, police and security guards knock like that. There are a few vacant homes, yes.
Answer. Okay, what about construction? Where's the construction that's happening in the neighborhood?
So that actually is, if you're on Escalante and you directly stare from Nancy's home up the street, that kind of there's a cul-de-sac above, if on this camera view above her street, you'll see a white roofed house at the very, very top of that cul-de-sac. That's where construction is occurring.
Mr. LeMay, do you recall any power outage either on Jan 31 or Jan 11?
This is, once again, all this information has been provided to the authorities. 2 of our cameras were quote unquote offline during this time, which really surprised us. I can't say, whether or not.
And this is the thing, like, they are close to Nancy's house, but they're not next door neighbors either. And to me, like, it's so weird that the 2 cameras that are pointing toward the back are not working. It's
that was a coincidence that the cameras were out and offline.
I hate coincidences.
I mean, once again, that's for the investigators to determine. But they were.
How did you learn, Jeff, that your cameras how did you learn that there were outages on 11 and 31?
We learned that when we were reviewing the data.
What? Hold the front door. What? They were off on the 11th and 31? January 11th and 31? Both days. No. 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 That's so weird. I think Perps did a dry run for the 11th. I mean, that is really like planned. It's not a jammer. I'm telling you, it's not a jammer. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's not a jammer. I don't know, sorcery. Yeah, we're going to hear that one more time.
Whether or not that was a coincidence that the camera can't fly during this time, which really surprised us. I can't say, whether or not that was a coincidence that the cameras were out and offline. I mean, once again, that's for the investigators to determine. But they were.
How did you learn, Jeff, that your cameras how did you learn that there were outages on 11 and 31?
We learned that when we were reviewing the data with the investigators and saw this notation that there was an offline camera.
That is scary. Like, to me, like being so far down and these being wired cameras, which are you can't use a jammer with the wired cameras on the 11th and the 31st, and the dogs both went out both nights. The neighbor saw someone weird. Another neighbor saw someone weird out her bathroom window that evening. I mean, this is like government shit. It's weird. Like, it's like, never seen anything like this. Michelle, thank you so much, baby. Do you think the plan was to take Nancy January 11th and something went wrong? I don't think it was. I don't think so. I think it was planned when it was planned. I think the 11th, I think they were doing reconnaissance and very well planned. It's very creepy. Truly. I'm speechless. I am speechless. Like, I thought it was just a coincidence, like not a coincidence, but I thought it was weird that the dog, went out on the 11th and the 31st. But now not only the dog going out on the 11th and the 31st, but their cameras not working on the 11th and the 31st. The neighbor seeing the strange guy on the 11th. And the FBI was already interested in the 11th. And she just happened to be, that was right around her birthday. And she had said there was something strange that happened on the 11th with this guy. I even told my family members. I've never seen anything like this. This is blows my mind. But that's the thing, Green Eyes. Like, a jammer is not, for a jammer to work like a whole block, you're talking, it's not like a little handheld machine like you can point toward, the direction of a home and it will mess it up. It's a big, it would be a big machine, number one. Number two, it doesn't work with wired cameras. Now, it makes me wonder, because they keep asking about the blackouts. The blackouts. Did you experience any blackouts? It makes me wonder, think about this. It makes me wonder, is this person an electrician? Good with an installation? Cable guy? Something to that effect. Is that why he's got the bite light as well? Biting, looking in like a breaker box or little wires while you're, is he messing? Is that why there's a blackout? Military, yeah. Something like this, because I'm telling you, it is, and I will stand on it till the day of judgment. This is not a Wi-Fi jammer. It's not a Wi-Fi jammer. And I think every cop that I have spoken to privately and people that have spoken, cops on here, they say it's not a Wi-Fi jammer. But what it could be is someone, I don't know, with some experience with turning, making blackouts happen, or being an electrician, or being a cable installer, just knows what the hell they're doing. And that bite light really makes me wonder now. It's just insanity that both the 11th and the 31st, there's a lot of weird things. The dogs, the cameras, the dog looking over there at around a little after 1 in the morning, the neighbor seeing this strange man. Most strange thing I've ever heard.
Offline cameras.
Jeff, who first came to your home asking for information? The feds?
FBI walked our yard, and we actually had a conversation about the rear yard and walked the scrub, so to speak, to see how inhospitable it was. And they put an opportunity to assess that. But we've had multiple visits from both, but the initial visit was from the sheriff's department.
Jeff, did you ever notice an individual that didn't live in your neighborhood the way another neighbor has? Or did you notice a vehicle parked in the area for an extended period of time?
We did notice a vehicle. My wife shared that information, but it was a very dim recollection.
Yes,
the Saturday evening, early evening, when walking the dogs, we noticed a car parked on Escalante. We shared whatever data we.
Yes. What day was it? What day was it? Was it the day before? Help me chat here. I can't remember. Was it the day before? At 10 a.m., there was someone that was parked along the street. Yeah, like some sort of technician, installer. The Wi-Fi electrician with vacant and construction homes in the area is all adding up. I don't know, but clearly this, it makes me wonder, was this person walking around, seeing where all these cameras were and all of this? And again, how did they know that the cameras weren't working? Think about this. How did they know the cameras in Nancy's house weren't working? But then the cops, think about this. Then the cops say that the cameras inside the home, when they showed up, were working. You remember that? They said that the cameras were working when they showed up. It's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. was the report of the white car near Nancy. Even if not working, it still stores live videos. Well, this only stored thumbnail, and it depends on, they didn't have the subscription service, so it didn't store much. I don't even know.
We did notice a vehicle. My wife shared that information, but it was a very.
Hey, girl, Jules. Thank you so much. Justin and Pearls, thank you for your hard work. Thank you so much, Miss Jules. Appreciate you. Good to see you and your little bunny buns. Good to see you, honey. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button or double tap the screen. Share the live out. Appreciate you all being here. Consider becoming a member of the Pearl family. I'd love to have you guys. Nancy, people just don't worry enough. I worry about everything, but I plan things out. There's just way too many. It is insane. There's just way too many coincidences that aren't coincidences. Yeah, if we get to 1,000 thumbs up, we have a chicken party, and you don't want to miss the chicken party.
In recollection, the Saturday evening, early evening, when walking the dogs, we noticed a car parked on Escalante.
Okay, Saturday evening on Escalante. Let me go to my calendar. Let's go to January. She went. So that was the evening. That is fucking weird. That's the 31st. So Saturday evening, the 31st, I would assume before Nancy got home, she or they saw this weird vehicle. This is so weird. This is the day she went to Annie's. Yes. And Tommaso's. Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for those kind words. Let the chickens out. Justin, you could add the Nanos bird link I emailed you to the chick. Okay, I'll look at that. My mind's just going 90 miles an hour right now. Someone was either watching. Someone was either watching or they were waiting for Nancy to get home. Or they were putting things in place. Could they have been putting things in place to make it easier for them? Did they go in the house? Did they with something? I don't even know. This is the most crazy and interesting case I've seen in a long time. When all of this hopefully comes out, man. Ruby, thank you so much. Very generous of you, my friend. I'm still mind blown that the sheriff at first thought Nancy wandered off. What in the world? It's pitch dark out there. She was of sound mind. Did he, Ruby? Did he? I know he said, thank you for that. I appreciate you very much. I know that he said that this looked suspicious, but maybe like in the very, very beginning. I mean, they were out looking for like in the neighborhood and stuff. He just makes absolutely no sense. No sense. He's just nothing but contradiction after contradiction. I think Saturday night dinner was a tradition. I don't know. I hope it was, but she didn't get back till 9:45. I can't stop thinking that every time I hear Sheriff No Nads. Yeah, I call him Sheriff Doofy from Scary Movie. Everyone knows Sheriff Doofy.
Hello? Hello? I said don't disturb you, I'm cleaning my room!
Yeah, that Sheriff Doofy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Look at Nancy. She's so full of love.
We shared whatever data we had, but we all do this. It's human nature. You see something, but you want to be accurate in the details you provide, and really couldn't provide much else. You know, it's just something that we noticed.
Could you put the overhead up really quickly for me, Jeff?
Okay. So, a few things. There's more than one thing here. Nancy goes to her son-in-law's and her daughter's house that night. She takes an Uber. She's driven back by Tommaso. She goes through the garage door. It's about up and down in 2 minutes. And then she presumably goes in her house and is there a few hours. At around 1 o'clock, a little after 1 o'clock, the neighbor's dog wants to go out, which is not very often that they want to go out at night like that. The dog kind of looks over towards that way and glances a little bit, and they go back in. Nothing. The cameras were not working at around that time. The two pointed toward Nancy's house. Earlier Saturday, or in the Saturday evening, when they're walking, the neighbors here, they see a vehicle on the corner of the street. Prior to that, on January 11th, the dog goes out again. Their cameras again aren't working. This is also the same time whenever another neighbor saw a strange man outside of her bathroom. It was very unusual. She told her family about it, all of that. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. Ruby, thank you so much, my friend. Yes, watch his first interview on February 1st. Ruby, this guy, he did another interview on February 1st. Who? Okay, what do you mean? Yes. Oh. You mean Sheriff Nanos? Yeah. Yeah, I did watch. We played it here. He did say that Nancy could have, gotten out. But he also said that there was homicide. That's what I'm saying. He's just a walking contradiction. Could whoever had camera app delete days? What'd Tina say? There's just too much going on. What's so secretive that Nanos won't release the Uber camera footage? I don't think it's anything secretive. I think that I really don't. My opinion. I think it's probably just they're wanting to maybe be a little private with Nancy.
Where on Escalante, which is Mrs. Guthrie Street, was the vehicle parked?
All right.
So if you continue past Nancy's home, there's a little area where people, when they walk their dogs in our neighborhood, might park. It's sort of a little area, maybe I'm going to estimate 50 yards down on the right-hand side. There's a little cutout with gravel where people park their vehicles. And we noticed a car there. And so we noticed a vehicle, but once again, we shared that information. We did not notice anyone any individuals walking around. I know
What kind of car was it? I want to know what kind of car it was.
other neighbors
Hopefully they
have.
say.
Are you
Hold on. What?
Individuals walking around. I know other neighbors have.
are you
Correct.
and or your neighbors afraid?
We're unsettled. Most of all, you've seen the yellow ribbons, the angels on the Palo Verde trees, the concern for someone who lives in our neighborhood who a horrible thing happened to, the concern for the family who are going through a horrific, heart-wrenching ordeal. Most of all, people are concerned about the neighbor, and it is unsettling that something like this occurred.
Jeff Lemay, neighbor of Nancy Guthrie, speaking out in an effort to help the search. Thank you, Mr. Lemay.
Thank you.
So many people are struggling. Out to Joseph Scott Morgan, professor forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit series podcast, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan.
So, as you see right here, there appears to be like some marks that was here in the driveway.
And star of a hit series podcast, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan, but more importantly, death investigator with over 10,000 death scenes under his belt. What do you make of the ridges? And can a cast be made of that? We have learned the FBI may have failed at getting a cast. I think I know why, but I want your analysis. Let's see it again.
Yeah. So as you're seeing these ridges, Nancy, you can see the composition out here is, to say the very least, is uneven. And also this rock aggregate that's there is going to create quite a problem if you want to do a cast. But one thing that we can draw from the so-called ridges is the idea of a wheelbase. And this is something that we use when we're trying to assess tire tracks on motor vehicles. Now, obviously, this is not a motor vehicle, but if you begin to think about something, say, for instance, like a wheelchair, all right? You've got two parallel lines that are running in one specific direction. As a matter of fact, you take a look at it, it stays quite linear. It doesn't curve. It doesn't stay off the center here. The idea with wheelbase, though, Nancy, is to try to assess what the distance is between the center mass of where the actual wheels are making contact in those ruts. Let's use the term ruts, and because that's a term that we would normally use. So with that information alone, you can take that and you can begin to assess what product out there would create these images or these ruts that are being left behind that can be imaged. Can you actually say that this originated from this particular item? Probably not, but it can at least put you in the ballpark. Now, I have to add this one comment here. Because of the level or lack thereof of security at the scene, we don't necessarily know what left these behind, or who is more accurate, who left these behind. Could it be a perpetrator that is removing Mrs. Guthrie from the home? Or could it actually be someone like, I don't know, a crime scene person that's dragging a kit behind them? And those ruts could actually match up with that.
Could the tracks be from a wheelchair, from a wheelbarrow, from
I was thinking
some device used
trash can
to move Mrs. Guthrie? And the video we were showing you earlier, guys.
You know, like those, actually Nancy has one outside of her house in one of the, let me show you this. She has one outside of her house. And a lot of us have these type of, trash cans. 1 second. Check this out. I'm gonna come straight back to this. But if you like go over here, to me, if you had something like that, that would leave 2 marks like that. But a lot of people take their trash out at night. A lot of people take their trash out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not out of the ordinary. Wouldn't look weird as well either. Those. But the second thing I wanted to show you, he's talking about how people pull over here, down here. There's a little pull over area. I'm trying to find that. What he's talking about. Okay. I think he's talking about right here. Right here. This is where he's talking about, I'm pretty sure, where they pull over, where they saw. You can see where people turn around right here. That's where they, what I'm assuming is where they saw this vehicle when they were walking Saturday evening. And this would have been approximately around the time Nancy was at her daughter Annie's and Tommaso's. So weird. I'm going to go look at that again, Ruby. The only problem with sharing that live stream or that interview, it's so low. I need to boost it. I need to record it and boost it, the sound.
This is from our friends at 12 News. The reason I'm talking to you about this.
We're not done with the neighbor, I think. I think he's... Maybe we are. I don't know.
This Joe Scott, not that you're a wheelbarrow expert, but you are a blood expert. And we know the blood ends at a certain point, and those tracks pick up at that point. See where I'm going?
It's
the blood ends. Did she get put in a wheelchair?
Very compelling. Yeah, it actually is. Here's something else that you might want to consider too. Do you have matching sets, or do you have 2 sets of these ruts? All right. If so, do they give an indication that you have a set that perhaps was not bearing weight before, and then afterwards it is bearing weight?
That's
and
a good
also
point. Going
to the blood.
Very good point. Very good point. So what he's saying here is, for instance, you have, let's say, for instance, it's a wheelbarrow, just for an example, and you are pushing it through the gravel, but there's no load in the wheelbarrow. Well, it will still generally make some marks, but it won't, just because of its own weight, but it won't have a lot of weight bearing because there's nothing inside the wheelbarrow. And if you put the wheelbarrow up, put something in the wheelbarrow, turn it around, it's going to distribute more weight. It's going to part the gravel more, if you will. So that's what he's talking about there. If there is not any weight bearing path, and then there is a weight bearing path. Very, very good point.
Trail. Is there concurrence between where the blood trail ends and these ruts pick up? Because that's a fascinating question scientifically. Also, and you asked me a question just a second ago about wheelchairs and wheelbarrows and this sort of thing. And this I can tell you. There's a type of wheelbarrow out there that actually does have 2 wheels, but the width of those tires on this thing are rather robust. This is not what you're looking at. You're looking at something that's very, very narrow. And of course, just like when we think about furrows in the neck of somebody that has been asphyxiated, remember, the smaller the gauge, the deeper the rut or the deeper the furrow. Here, the more narrow the rut.
You know what this looks like to me? Holy shit. Holy, you know what this looks like to me? Oh my God. I know what this is, I'm pretty sure. Yep. A dolly. It looks like a dolly. I have a dolly that has the 2 rubber wheels. I call them a dolly. I don't know what y'all call them. It has the 2 rubber wheels. Let me show you. And you can put it in 2 different positions. Holy moly. There's different types of dollies, of course. But this reminds me of this right here. They're very common. They're very easy to move. Right here. Right? And if you had and I'm just telling you, you can fit someone in something. Just remember the case where the woman put her husband in luggage. He was a grown man. You heard it here first. It's a dolly. This is the dolly. And let me just show you this. These handles come off. You can pull these handles out because I have one just like this. Except mine's gray. And you can pull these handles out and you can place them on these bars and then you can lay this flat. Let me see if I can. Here you go. Let me show you this. Right here. This is bad. Right there. And they align up these wheels. And you can put these dollies right in the back of your car. No problem. No problem. Look at those wheels. Look at that. So let's look at the people that moved out of Nancy's area a few days after Nancy was determined to be missing. Where did those people go? Where did those people move to? I need to know. Well, what do people do who move? They use dollies as well. You know that? People that move use dollies. We got 1,000 thumbs up. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. We'll have a chicken party. Thank you so much. And it was before Nancy. It was a few days before Nancy, by the way. Yep. Yep. I'm just saying.
You're going to talk about something that has a very, very tight gauge on it that can actually go down into the surface. The idea here is to try to understand, was it bearing weight at that particular time? But part of this just seems rather cumbersome.
Hey, Joe Scott, look at this again.
Yeah,
One, sure. I've been asked, do these ridges suggest she was dragged? I don't see that. I see
that's not drag marks. No.
Actual wheel marks. But what about a wagon?
Yeah, I suppose a wagon. But again, okay, this is what you would need to do. There are garden wagons out there that people utilize. I don't know what kind of utility it would have. And also, again, you would have to go back to the wheels or the tires on these things to see if they marry up with the width dimensions on the actual ruts themselves. Okay, so we've got two measurements we're looking at here. We've got wheelbase, and then we've got the width of the rut itself, and then the depth. That's a third measurement. The depth of
There's been a lot of photos regarding tracks.
That's a dolly
from her home. This particular one is from Susie Dubay X. Susie Dubay X. And I really liked it when I saw it. Can I get a close up again? It was part of the blood video, because you're not going to get any cast, I don't think, out of gravel. Now see, this is where the blood starts. But when you look at this video as opposed to the still photos, you see how far along the blood went.
Exactly.
I didn't ever hear, Joe Scott, about any blood being in that portion. It's gravel in cement, and you're not going to get a cast off that.
And that's exactly. The blood, I don't think Nancy walked out here at all, just my opinion. I think they had her in, trigger warning, this is true crime. It's not glamorous. It's true crime. I think they had her in something, and the containment was lost for a minute. It leaked, in other words. I'm trying to think of something before I say it. Let me look at something.
No, not in that particular area. No, that's some kind of aggregate.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get any cast off the gravel, like you're saying.
That has some kind of cement to it. So no, you're not going to pick up anything.
Right.
Now you can look
but what
at it.
About where the ridges are? And by the way, that video's from our friends at Fox News. Go ahead, dear.
Yeah. So looking where these ruts are, Nancy, when you take a look at that, the composition looks like gravel to me, or it's got some kind of aggregate of gravel. I don't think that it's cemented down. However, just imagine if we poured a cast into that area. We actually use, people might not know this, we use dental stone in order to facilitate these casts, which is kind of made out of gypsum. And so when you let that dry, guess what you're going to pull up? You're going to pull up a big mass of gravel at that point in time. It's nothing you can actually read.
So then our info that the feds could not get a cast of the tire marks or any shoe marks in the gravel is correct?
Yeah. So based upon this image that I'm seeing, and again, qualifier, these are not crime scene images. But when you take a look at that, and
let me just show you something real quick. We'll come right back to this. Just looking at this. So this is her house from the outside, right? If she was being removed, right? This is a gate. It appears right here. You're either going to remove her, in my opinion, from the front or the garage. And to me, you're not going to remove her from the garage because, again, garage doors, if you turn a light on or anything, more light's going to shine out. It's going to make more noise. We don't have anything of that opening that night, but you could have done it with a clicker, or you could have done it with the pin pad, but you couldn't have done it with the app, or we would have had a time point on that. Had to be the front door. Had to be the front door, in my opinion. Plus, we have the blood at the front door and at the sidewalk. And then in the gravel, we have these marks of tires, small tire marks in the gravel. Think about someone removing her, right? It's a long ways from back here, right? You're not going to wheel something through the desert. You're not going to want to wheel something through the grass. This is a longer way. It's more complicated. There's more things to get over. Whether you're carrying her, there's more hurdles here. Remember, people do the path of least resistance, right? Again, even if she was walking, you're going to do the path of least resistance for her sake to get to the car. Yes, the path of least resistance, the least amount of effort. If you are removing her, if she's walking, if you are carrying her, if you have a dolly, if you have a wagon, if you have a trash can, there's too much back here to get over and through, right? There's porches, there's grass, there's little steps, all of this, there's gates, and then, you come through here and then go all around. That's too much work. You're going to go straight to the house. You're going to remove her from here. Then you're going to have most likely a vehicle pulled up here or somewhere close. And I think that they removed her from here. In my opinion, it leaked. They were loading her with something, and those wheels you see is them taking it to the vehicle.
You think about the composition of it.
In my opinion,
they would say there's no utility in it. There's not going to have any value. The best thing you can do is photograph.
Also tonight, if you take a look at Porch Guy, not only does a careful look seem to reveal headlights over his shoulder, possibly from a vehicle. Now take a look, and this is from Blue Star 812/X. Blue Star 812/X. In addition to possible headlights in the background, I want to talk to guests.
I don't know about the headlights in the background. It's very possible. Still not convinced either way. I know a lot of you guys believe that. I don't know. I really don't have an opinion either way on that. I actually, well, maybe I do. I lean more toward it's not. But that's just me.
Terry Wynn Yates, aka Mr. Locksmith, third generation master locksmith, over 25 years experience and expert in picking locks. I'm not going to ask too many questions about how you became an expert in picking locks. On YouTube, he's at 24-hour Mr. Locksmith. His website, mrlocksmith.com, mrprolock.com. Mr. Wynn Yates, thank you for being with us. Explain to me how a lock pick could be used, because we've heard so much. Did one perp come in through the back door while the other perp or a single perp came in through the front door? We've been told that the wrought iron screen door would be impenetrable. Let's take a look at that lock on Mrs. Guthrie's wrought iron door. Mr. Wynn Yates, can a lockpick break through this lock, and how?
An amateur could open that lock in minutes, a professional in seconds. The top deadbolt and the bottom key and knob is what we train our locksmiths. That's the first locks they play with. They learn how to pick that. Within the hour, they're picking those locks. It's not a high security lock at all.
Terry Wynn Yates, you're telling me, and by the way, this is video from Mr. Locksmith on YouTube. We're showing you how it's done. But could you explain it, Mr. Wynn Yates?
To pick the lock, first of all, it has to be a lock that's not high security. So if it's a regular house lock, business lock, etc., you apply turning pressure. And then there's a couple of different methods of picking. One is raking. You sort of rake the pick in and out as you apply tension. The other method is what we call SPP, or single pin picking. And that's when you become more advanced and you can pick the lock one pin at a time. And there's 5 pins in the lock that you showed me the picture. There's 5 pins. So
it's very interesting because, again, the neighbor that Nancy had spoken to in this very interview, he talks about seeing someone in that little pullover area right down below Nancy's house that evening. And again, this would be approximately the time Nancy would be gone. She is at her brother or her son-in-law and her daughter's home. And it makes you wonder, was this perp around her house getting the home open so that they could have easy access to break in a few hours from or after Nancy got home, got in bed, went to sleep? Or were they already inside the home? I don't think that they were inside the home waiting. I think that, again, they could have had a door unlocked already. Had it already unlocked, Nancy wouldn't probably know better, a window or whatever. But I think that they could have been pre-opening the lock, the window, the sliding door, or whatever. I think that's probably more what they were up to. Man, this is crazy. This is nuts.
And it's a pretty simple lock to pick.
This is so orchestrated. And it just makes you sick at your stomach to think that it seems, from what we know today, which it can always change, and I'm sure it will, but Nancy essentially had a target on her for weeks prior to her being taken out of that house. And that's what makes you just go nuts. Like, she's having, I'm sure, a great time with her family, not knowing that someone is at her house, pulled over, likely at the side of the road, messing with cameras. All of this days and weeks prior, and just hours prior. And that's the thing, Sue. I still can't understand motive. Why did these creepy men do this? Why? And that's the question. Why does, and I say this almost every single line, statistically, she's 84 years old. She's outlived the average life. Who wants Nancy dead so quickly that statistically, she wouldn't be alive in a year from now? Statistically. Now, she could live 10 more years. She could live 20 more years even. But statistically, who couldn't wait? Or who wouldn't wait? And it has to be, in my opinion, unless you can give me a better answer that I've just not thought of. Money, or she knew information, or she pissed someone really off that they couldn't deal with it themselves. It's got to be something like that. Oh, hey, Carrie. Good to see you, Carrie Lynn. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you for your ongoing coverage. I still believe the family is involved. Thank you so very, very much, Carrie Lynn, for your support. I really, really do appreciate that and those kind words, my dear. Carrie Lynn, I can't say, I truly can't say you're the only one. Again, the sheriff has said one thing, but he's said a lot of things. Now, this is another point. I just thought, okay, to me, let's think about this a second. Very interesting. If this person was down the street, right? Just a couple hours before Nancy gets back home. He doesn't give a specific time, the neighbor, but he says it's during the evening hours on the 31st, which was when Nancy was at Tommaso's and Annie's. Well, as long as Tommaso and Annie were both there while Nancy was at their house, right? Then, in my opinion, that just kind of shows even further, with how people always say, this could be Tommaso. This is not Tommaso. This is not Tommaso. That person that is around that house and parked down below Nancy's is not Tommaso. Now, again, it does, like Carrie said, it still doesn't make me think that family, potential people that knows her couldn't be involved. Because again, I will say, I have no idea who done this or their motive or anything. None of us do. But again, for the people who go back to the family, the timing is weird. The timing is weird. Because if you go to, let me go to my calendar here. If you go to January 11th, that's a Sunday, right? If you go to January 31st, that's a Saturday. That's a Saturday. To me, that tells me, in my opinion, that this person who, and think about this, what we heard earlier about the DNA. DNA has not came back that it appears that this person has a big criminal record, a big criminal history that we're aware of, at least of now. It tells me, in my opinion, that this person or the people that is involved, whether it is this person only or the person that has the motive and is, once Nancy gone, works most probably Monday through Friday. Right? Most probably Monday through Friday. Now, that would be, for instance, there's a lot of people who works Monday through Friday, whether it's banking, whether it's an attorney, whether it is a teacher, any of that, you would work Monday through Friday. Again, I think it's highly weird. And again, whether you think someone in the family, a friend, could be involved, it is weird that this happened, in my opinion, right after dinner, right after she was dropped off. It's weird that their vehicle was kept longer than anyone else we know. There's a lot of weird things. It's weird that they went in the house, that they came out, with forensics in paper bags, a folding table, that they were in there for 3 hours with the lights off, that they were at the neighbors, all of that. All of those things are weird. You can't not think that. But you also can't point it at just that direction. Because they were at 2 other properties that we know of. Right? Completely 2 other properties that they executed search warrants on. And none of them may have anything to do with it. And if none of them have anything to do with it, particularly Carlos and the Dailies, well, law enforcement, in my opinion, is probably going to be in a world of... But I also can't imagine them going to there for no reason whatsoever. Like, something had to get them there. And again, I have thought about this night and day and day and night. And it could be none of them are involved. One of the 3 places is involved. It could be all 3 of them linked. And we just don't know at this time. Right? There's weirdness when it comes to all 3 of them. There's weirdness. They're not going to release the 911 call for her going missing and the other information the FBI task force has, because it will be revealed when they go to trial. Yeah, most probably. Most probably. They could release it when, like, maybe a probable cause affidavit comes out or whatever. If it's, well, but the probable cause that they had on the people, the Dailies and Carlos, they allegedly sealed that. So, Miss Dolores, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting a pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you, my love. If you receive that, make sure you thank our dear Dolores. Really, really do appreciate you, my love. Good to see you. That's crazy. Yep. Sunny summer. You don't know. You don't know. There's just way too many avenues, and that's what I say. There's just way too many avenues that it could point at. I believe the family have crossed somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. But regardless, it seems like uh, that evening, while Nancy is at her daughter's house and her son-in-law's, that there is someone strange in this neighborhood, and they are getting prepared. And think about this. Think about this. They know Nancy's gone. They know Nancy's not in that house. If this is what it is. Now, how do they know Nancy's not in that house? How do they know Nancy is at her daughter's or not in the house? If they're in that neighborhood and there's this weird car down by the road, down below her house. No, we're talking about before Nancy disappears. Watch this. Let me show you. Watch this. Okay. Right. Here's Nancy's house right up here. Right. The neighbors that you just saw on Nancy's, they are walking their dog on Saturday evening. And there's a strange vehicle right here. Strange vehicle right here. Okay. And they remember that, right? Nancy is at Tommaso's and Annie's house. If this car, this person is linked in the neighborhood while Nancy is gone, at her brother-in-law's and her daughter's house, how did they know that Nancy was out of the house? How did they know? Think about it. Yeah, could have saw an Uber. Yeah, absolutely could have saw an Uber. But nobody's going to, there's only really two ways that I can think of. Well, there may be three. One, they knew that she went there every weekend, if she did go there every weekend. Right? If she went there every weekend, that could be a reason. But just because you go there every weekend doesn't mean you go there every weekend. It doesn't mean that we know you're out of the house at this time. You know what I mean? I call him Tomato Jerry when I can't think of his name. You say tomato, I say Tommaso. You say Tommaso's. Or someone told them that Nancy was gone. Right? Nancy wasn't in the house. Or they lived close by and they were watching the house. That's really all I can think of. Right? Sounds professional though. Oh, So this is the thing. It depends. There's professional, then there's professional. Wait a second. No, I take that back. There's well planned, and then there's professional. And there's very few professional, like real professional hit men out there, if you will. Very few. And they usually work for governments. They don't, or cartels. This isn't that. This isn't that. This is someone who's well planned and was well informed. Right? That's a difference. There's a difference in being well planned and well informed and being an actual professional. Because if this was professional, there wouldn't be blood. There wouldn't be blood left like that. Right? And professionals generally make it look like an accident or something, or you just don't find anything. So this is what makes me wonder about this right here. Is this someone who, how did they know Nancy was out of that house at that time? How did they know she was at her daughter's? Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Let's see Mrs. Guthrie's lock again, please, control room. So, Terry Wynn Yates, you're telling me that even an amateur could break into this with a lockpick?
Yeah, they don't have to break anything. There's several methods to open that lock. It's extremely easy to pick open. Extremely easy. And that's what we start our beginners with. And within the hour, they're picking that lock. And the bottom lock has...
So all this business about this door being impenetrable is all BS, technical legal term, right?
Totally.
Oh. Terry Wynn Yates.
Oh, sorry, honey. Michelle, thank you so much, my dear. This is not a crime of obsession. People were hired to do this to prove they could. That's the message. I don't know what you mean by that, Michelle. It's not obsession, right? Like this isn't someone that is obsessed with Savannah. It's not that, if that's what you mean. I agree with that. But I don't know what you mean by the second part. People were hired to do this. That's very, very possible. I very well agree with that. But they could. That's the message. I'm not sure. I don't think they did it just because they could. But I agree with everything else. I think there's certainly a reason why, but that reason I don't know. You know what I mean? Tam, thank you so much, my friend. Welcome to the Pearl family. Really, really do appreciate you. Y'all welcome Tam to the Pearl family. Really, really do appreciate that, my dear. Did Google Earth blur the house that the other guy without the mask was at? There's a big blur in that area. People can blur their stuff out, yeah.
What about a lockpick
It's up to the
gun?
owner.
Yeah, it's basically just a spring with a little pick, like a straight pick on it, spring steel. And it's like bumping the lock, yeah. And when you put it in there, a couple clicks, and apply tension, put in the pick gun. They're readily available all over the internet. And you can pick the lock in seconds. It's just, and the other method, the pick gun's similar to what we call a bump key.
So you told me earlier that a lockpick gun is kind of old school. It's not being used much anymore.
Well, there's better methods, but it's very simple to teach people that. One reason you don't like it in certain methods is covert, is it makes some noise. It goes bang, 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 click, click, click. So it can make some noise. If you want to be quiet, use a regular lock pick or some of the more advanced methods to pick the lock.
American homeowners, the
Michelle.
FBI has been warning about a type of real estate scam. Gibbons seems to be headlights behind the porch guy.
Okay, I want to know. Okay, guys, these headlights behind what may be headlights behind the porch guy. Let's just say that.
And Brian, toward the, I'd like a team of investigators around the world to find an
These light. Okay. I want a yes or a no. Do you think this is a car light behind him or no? Yes, no. In chat, I want to see what you guys think. Yes or no. It was a full moon. If anything was, maybe not. Yes, no, no, yes. No, yes, no, yes, but far away. Like, do you think it's related to Nancy? No, yes, maybe. No, 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 yes, yes. No, no, no. Yes, no, no, unsure. Yes, yes, no, yes, 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 maybe, no, ish. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes. I don't think it is, in my opinion, but it's not, it wouldn't shock me if it was. You know what I mean? It wouldn't shock me if it was. But I do believe there's a vehicle around here that's going to pull up. Like, if they don't have the rest of this footage, they need to get this footage.
Accomplice. And that's from our friend Blue Star 812 on X.
Yeah, I think.
Star.
Listen, does this?
Let me Blue Star 812X. Let me go to X and see what they. Blue Star 812. Okay. DNN, Dinky News Network. Follow me if you want to know breaking news, sports. I'll edit videos and to give a slower, close view of different videos and funny clips. Okay. Let's see what they say. When was this? Okay. Here we go. They've got some other stuff up here. This is interesting. They got Nancy Guthrie. All right, look at this, guys. Few different things here that Blue Star 812 has. Check this out. Okay, Nancy Guthrie, what do y'all think about these pictures? The height and the belly is different, two different people. That's interesting. I don't think it's two different people, but I'm going to look more into this. Let's see what they say. They could prove me wrong. I don't know. Okay. We got to remember the camera is at a different. Okay, here we go. They're counting the bricks. Good for them. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to go look at the bottom of the blue block and count how many bricks high from there in both pictures. What you got to remember though, it was moved. This was moved before the first time that they were there. It's at a different angle. Okay, what is this? Okay, second here. All right. Zoomed in slow motion, first no audio, second half with audio. Just fast forward if you want. Here's the tattoo, a name on the pew pew holster, and then flowers. Could have been to hide the camera for second person. A good theory. Let me know what you think. Okay. So this is from, again, I'm gonna make myself smaller so y'all can see this better. On his profile, again, I cannot verify this. This is his theory. He says he edits videos and gives a slower, close view of different videos and funny clips. He doesn't have a lot of followers, but he probably will after today. 561 followers. Okay. Let's, so what he says in this, again, I want to just tell you what I want before I play it. That he says in this, the first half is slow motion and the second half with audio. Just fast forward if you want. You can see a tattoo, a name of a pew pew holster, and then the flowers. Could have been to hide the camera for second person. Good theory. Let me know what you think. Okay. Let me make it. Okay. Let me turn it to where there's volume. He's got a picture. I thought he said there was audio. First, no audio, second half with audio. Let me refresh it to make sure. Let me make sure my thing is on. Can y'all hear audio? Let me check.
Down.
Okay.
Right. So what? Where his body is.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So watch where his body is at.
Can y'all hear the audio now? Let me know if y'all can hear the audio now. Okay, thank you.
Up here, he's foliaging. Really,
And his backpack.
I just think he's covering it up for number 2 person to walk up.
Okay, possibly.
Because none of this makes sense.
And the backpack with
Well,
the
he's
lights.
wearing it, but he's over here.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking right here.
There
Okay.
it is.
Coming down. Boom. It's up and then it gets flopped down, just like you would a phone. It's up against your chest and then you go to look at it or illuminate light. It's dark there. It's black.
Look at it again now. Here we go. Where he's
Forward,
standing.
Distraction.
Yeah.
Full distraction.
Okay.
He's over here, backpack. Everything's on this side.
Okay, wait a second. What are they trying to say?
Okay.
I don't understand what they're trying to say.
There. Right there.
And the flop down.
Boom.
No, it's not a phone. No, it's not a second guy. It's not a second guy. I disagree. I like their accent too, Ginger, but that's not a second guy. Mm-mm. No. I'm telling you. Mm-mm. Not another person.
Case closed.
Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. It's distorted from. No. Not a second guy. Mm-mm. Okay. This is the holster. I don't see a name on it, in my opinion. I do think that's a tattoo of some sort. Again, I don't see a name. I don't see a logo, but that's just me. That's just me. You can see the phone. It almost fell out, and you can see his face a little better in this one, they say. Okay. Now, okay, now look at that. I don't know. I truly don't know what that is. I don't know. And with these cameras that are Justin, he didn't hold the foliage up long enough. Wait, so I've told you guys my theory on this. I think this is not the main guy. I think this guy was coming up to meet someone at the door and let them know that they're at the door, and he rang the doorbell, and he didn't want to be seen on that camera. I think he knew there was no subscription on that camera because there was obviously cameras inside, and he just covered it. And then after that, he just ended up taking it because I think they moved Nancy out, and we just don't have that footage because they don't have all the footage. But this is something obviously in his pocket. These people on the 11th and the 31st, the neighbors' cameras aren't working. Someone saw a man on the 11th. He's got a bite light. He knows, they know what they're doing. Yep, I'll show you my theory in a second. See that right there? Now, to me, oh, I don't got my OtterBox on. It could be a phone, but I don't see. I mean, he could be just carrying a phone or something, but that's risky. Like, it could be like the side of an OtterBox, But to me, it could be a scanner, but I don't think it's even a scanner. I certainly don't think it is a Wi-Fi jammer. Could it be the side of a phone like with an OtterBox? Could be a walkie-talkie? Yes. I'm still not convinced it's even all of those, though. No, it's not a zipper. It's too wide to be a zipper. We're talking about this thing right here. You see, you can see it more down here even now. I don't know. It's pretty bizarre though. Well, he acts like he's getting ready to knock on it, and then then he goes straight to the camera to like almost like cover it up, and then he's like going down there with his thumb. Mini screwdriver set in their case. I mean, it could be. It very well could be. I am pretty perplexed on that. Look at this mofo. He's what do y'all think? Right there. Right there. You can almost see his, like look at there. I need to take a screenshot of that. You can almost see the profile of his nose right there. You know that? I mean, it's going to be smushed, yes. But you can almost see the profile of his nose. Look at this. You can see that nose right there. Let me see if it'll let me draw. Let me see. Let me see if y'all can see this. Watch this. I just did an outline of it with my mouse. See that? His ears look low too. Yes. Now they could be pushed down a little bit as well. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a program tonight on something. All right, let me go back to this. 1 second. You can see, and his ears they look like they sit below his eyes. his lips. Look at that. You can see it right there. I need to grab that frame. Those lips. Daily, he has literally no freaking top lip. He's got like a Reba McEntire top lip. I love Reba, by the way. Yeah, we looked at that, Brown Eyes. We looked at that. I disagree with that. A lot of people thinks it's I'll show it to you. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I'm pulling it up. Bear with me. I think there's one more here. Why is he not blinking? I don't, to me, he's got a full lip. I don't think it's daily. I'm not 100% convinced either. I do think, I wonder if they'll be back at Daly's house, though. I really do. Okay. They need the public assistance. The perpetrator may use the eyelid. I just can't play it, guys. I'm looking at it. I mean, I can't play it. There's too much. I don't think there's face tape or anything used. I just don't. I'm sorry. Hey, Oranges, good to see you. Could this person be a minor whom others are protecting? Someone with special needs. One blink, that's it. It's right here.
That you just can't unsee. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say that for the entire duration that he did not blink, okay? I'm just saying that whenever he was facing the camera, he did not do so, right? And if you're taping your eyes up, to alter your eyes, you probably want to keep your blinking at a minimum, right?
He's funny. He's very funny. I just don't think that there's any tape used or anything like that. I really don't. I just can't get down with it, to be honest with you.
Inside job, so to speak. That intelligent person is going to manifest their likeness into something unrecognizable in every way.
I mean, the thing about it is, like, this is the thing. They've already got a thing, a ski mask on, right? The perp watches Dexter. Probably green eyes. It's crazy. Okay. How long have I been live? I don't know if I should probably quit here because I literally haven't even gotten through half of my content for today. But I've already been live 3.5 hours. Some people don't blink often, honestly. Isn't there something about that, like your blink rate? I mean, obviously there's, but like people who don't blink more in general. Some people have been, he's wearing glasses and those aren't his eyebrows. I know a lot of people saying it's a fake goatee and stuff. And guys, like, this is the thing, as human beings, we have to make sense of mysteries. So we have to have an opinion on it and stuff, right? And we will come up many times with theories just to satisfy ourselves. But we've got to overcome things like that. Like, yeah, people can do a goatee and tape and stuff, like, tape their eyes and stuff like that. But generally, there is a lot more things to worry about than taping your eyes and putting a fake goatee on. Like, you've already got your face covered, and you clearly are fucking with the neighbor's cameras already. You know what I mean? You clearly know that the cameras inside aren't working for you, and you've taken the camera outside. They don't think, this person right here, they do not think they're ever going to be seen on this camera, right? In my opinion, they know that there's no subscription. Number one, there's no subscription. And number two, they took the damn camera and they clearly screwed with the internet or something. There's no need, in my opinion, to tape your eyes or put a fake goatee on or anything like that. That's just my opinion. I'm just one of 8 billion people on the planet. But you got to think about the steps of it all, right? How life works and how the simplest answer is usually the answer. However, I will be the first to say there's nothing simple about this case, but even the most complicated cases, once you find out what really happened, you're like, oh, there we go. That makes sense. That's why that Mother Fletcher did this. You get what I mean? People want to complicate it and make things bigger than what it already is. And the crime itself is enough. The crime itself is enough. Evil is evil. Yeah. Look for horses, not zebras. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, piece of Jesus. Thank you, honey. If Cabela involved more than asking for Bitcoin, will he flip? Kaela? Who's Kaela? I think the facial hair is real. Absolutely. That's real. Probably not his first time. I think this guy is I get the feeling that this guy is highly motivated by money. Yeah. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, baby. The guy who called A&T. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I really need, I keep saying it, I've said it for 3 freaking weeks. I need to do a members only on that guy because there's some really interesting things on that guy. And I can see why people look at him. I can see why people, in my opinion, look at Daly, at parts of the family, at construction workers, at all kinds of things. He, to me, is very sus, and so is his dad. I got things on that. And his dad was in some areas that day, I can tell you that, which I found very interesting. And Chris talked about him, that they had him, he's from freaking California, and they brought him straight into their, and he's the only one that called Tommaso and Annie, from what we understand. Libby, thank you, Justin. I look forward to your shows daily. That means so much, Libby. Thank you so much. I'm glad somebody looks forward to me. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that very much. We are missing something because there's no perfect crime. There is no perfect anything, other than, in my opinion, God Almighty, but nothing is perfect. This is the thing. These people clearly plan this, but you can plan something to the T and it will not go right. It will never go how you think, right? It will never go how you think. If you've ever planned for a vacation, right, and you've got everything planned out, it still doesn't go like you think. Does it? Once you get there, it don't go like you plan. Some, everything can go smoothly, but it doesn't exactly go what you had in your mind. That's life. So you kind of can plan, but you shouldn't expect anything, and you should always, I guess, be, expected for anything that's possible, right? There's a thing called Paris. I think it's called Paris syndrome. As people, that is particularly not Europeans, Americans, Japanese, Koreans, we have this idea of Paris, as what it is in the movies, and you kind of have this this picture in your head of two poodles sitting under the Eiffel Tower, with the spaghetti noodle kissing, both eating the noodle until they kiss, kind of thing. And everyone just, like the flowers on the side of the thing. It's not like that. And there are people that will go there, and once they get to Paris, they have a psychological reaction, because it is not what is portrayed. There are parts, yes, but there are some really scary, seedy places as well, and there's a lot of pickpocketers and stuff like that. It's a letdown, yeah. Paris has wonderful bakeries and cheese shops, but also has a rat problem. Yeah. I always say, if you go to Paris, or if you go to France, it's better to go to the south of France any day of the week. I think that 9-second phone call to Masso is still sus. I understand, Deb. I understand. It's How did they plan it? Meeting in person, so no tracking via phones, email. No, there has to be something that they've spoken, whether it's just casually. There's something. There's something. This is the thing. I can tell you this is not a perfect crime. And I'll tell you why. Because we've seen it. We've seen it in action that this is not a perfect crime. Why? This guy walks up and he's putting the hand over the camera. Well, you clearly forgot about it or wasn't thinking about it at the time. Right? So he goes and tries to cover it up with plans. Well, that's not very intelligent. There's mistakes. There is mistakes. There is allegedly, which we didn't even get to the DNA today. Been here almost 4 hours and still didn't even get to the DNA because there's so much in this live. Nancy did a fucking wonderful show. Truly did a great show. Great job, Nancy, on that. In the heat of the moment, you don't think clearly. Right. And again, when you are under stress, you don't get better. You don't get better, right? It only is downhill. Nobody's, people say I do better under stress. You really don't. You really don't. You might, some people adapt better to stress, but it depends on what kind of stress as well. I don't do good. I flip the hell out and go faint in a corner, generally. Tiger Woods does somewhat grace under pressure. Maybe. Some people use dope or alcohol to get their nerve up. What do you mean, Liz? Has he inserted himself again? Is that what you mean? Like again? If you're watching at the beginning, at the end, and the last second he twisted the plants on top and then back, in my opinion, he improvised with the stems and removed it. I think he may be smarter than we believe, in my opinion. I don't think this... I don't think this guy is a 8-year college graduate. I don't think he's got his doctorate or his PhD. I think he might have graduated school. I think he probably didn't, but if he might have graduated high school. I think he's highly motivated by money. He's highly motivated by his looks, how people perceive him. I think he likes the finer things in life, and he tries to achieve those. Well, I'm, Ginger, like, again, I've worked in funeral homes and hospice and everything like that. I'm if it's someone else's, it's so bad, but I'm fine under pressure like that. I'm talking like your personal. Oh, poll results. Yes, thank you for that. Then I go in a corner and faint, generally. Oh, how do I get him up? Okay, guys, I think I got it. Let's see these poll results. All right. In your opinion, do you believe the suspect has been inside Nancy's home before? In one of our chats, we're going to end that poll based upon 1,200 votes. 66% says yes, 27% says unsure, and 7% says no. Interesting. Okay. Next chat. In the other chat, based upon 1,443 votes. In your opinion, do you believe the suspect has been inside Nancy's home before? 71% says yes. Unsure, 19%. No, 10%. So most people believe that this person has been in this house before. I agree with them. Very well planned. Very well planned. What is going to be very interesting with this case is the internet, the cameras. Cosmic, that's a good question. And I think we should ask Nanostat. Yep. 1,200 likes. Good job, folks. Thank you, Green Eyes. Oh, we got to have a chicken party. Yes. We got to have a chicken party. Let's have a chicken party.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Get up off me. I said that's enough. Let my gut to the go. You act like you starving, Monquito. Now I said that's enough. You want to bite me? Huh? Okay. No. That's how I feel. Now get up off me. Got these people recording me act like I don't feed your ass. And look at your damn daddy just sitting there. You need to come get your damn daughter. She get this shit from you. Now let my damn titty go. You didn't eat. Let it go. Because at this rate, I'm not gonna care if Monkey Protective Services come get your ass. Now let them go. You didn't eat and you acting like you starving. Okay, we won't listen. We won't listen. Who is that? Oh, I thought I heard something. Now get your... Okay, let me just turn my ass around. Now didn't I tell you to let my shit go? Now I'm not about to keep playing with you in front of these people. I'm trying... Okay. Let me see who looking. Okay, hey.
Girl, how I look? Like a damn fool. No, them veneers don't make that look no better. Girl, bye. Let me see what's going on with this little piece of fruit, baby. Clear my throat.
This is an actual picture of me.
Got a good little ring to it, and I taught it all very sweet.
Let me get on up here, baby. I don't need everybody in my mix. See, you don't need to see Big Mama eat her oranges. Go on back the camera up and stop playing with my time before I get active mode face.
Stop. You love touching my belly. Oh, you make me feel so sexy and confident. Oh, let me back up so you can look at it. Hi, look, babe. Stop playing. I just fall out when you do that to me, boy. Come on now. Oh, look at these legs and stuff you got. Oh, I think I want to touch and kiss up on you real quick. What's up? In public. Let's do it right here in public, babe. What's up, boy? Come on, let's do it in public, babe. Stop playing with my time. Come on, boy. Come on, babe. Let's do it in public. Ooh, don't start nothing. Won't be no start, no shoe, won't be no stuff. Come on now, touching my titties and all that. Come on, boy, in public. Ooh, let me take this leg real quick and then. Ooh, where you going? Where you going, babe? Come here. Touch on me. Tease me. Nah, for real. Come on, let's go. What you doing? Baby, come on now. We got to get to the barbecue. Stop playing now. Stop playing with my time. Oh, let me get up here. Oh, look at that butt. Oh, take this shirt off real quick. See, let's go on and get wet out. Let's show them the way, because you know I do what I do when I do it. Come on, babe.
Come on. Oh, this shirt is cute. Come on now. And let me tell you something. Why you liking that girl photograph on Instagram? I told you about getting too friendly-handed on Instagram. Stop liking their pictures. Stop liking their pictures. Do you hear me? They don't need you to know you. Stop. Stop liking their pictures playing on my time. Come on, babe. Let's go. I'm hungry now. They waiting on us. I want me a rib sandwich with some little cheese. Boy, get from behind me. See, you...
Not possible because that area is not visible in the footage. My ass. As for the lights.
Oh. Suck it now. Oh. Suck it now. Oh. Suck it now.
RCMP, open up.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
Oh my God! Look at Chris.
Gerald Daugherty wants to watch the videotape.
Is that Chris? They can shut their chicken tone, chicken bone, Google Chrome, no home flip phone, disown ice cream cone, garden gnome, student loan, full-blown Indiana Jones, overgrown Flintstone, X and Y chromosome, Fred Zone, Sylvester Stallone, AutoZone, professionally seen silver Patron, head the fuck up, okay? That's how we kind of lighten the mood sometimes at the end of the live stream when we get 1,000 thumbs up. It's the way to kind of lighten the mood because it gets heavy. It gets really heavy sometimes. It's just in fun. That's all. To lighten it up a little bit. Guys, thank you all so much for joining me. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And Carmelita loves those chickens. She lives for the chickens. She used to send like super chats. She would send like Justin chicken, Justin chicken, Justin chicken. We called her the Carmelita chickens. I'm just not used to her under the new name. I still call her Carmelita. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. We have a lot more to get to. But 4 hours of a live stream is a lot. I could do another 4 hours actually, and might get through it all. So good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you guys on the next one. And if anything else breaks, take good care of yourself. You only get so many trips around the sun. Good night and God bless.